Hey guys, welcome. It's Monday night and that means it's time for Let's Talk About. And you're here with Kim Thomson, certified clinical aromatherapist, aka the Hot Oily Mama. I'm Jeremy, health and science geek, I guess, and oils enthusiast. And every Monday night we're here. And what do we bring? We are going to bring you the best oily education that money can't buy.
Can't buy.
And guaranteed laughs, or you'll get that money that you didn't spend back. And what else? And we love to hear from you. So we love spending our Monday nights with you guys. So if you have any comments, if you have any questions, like push the like button, because then we feel loved, don't we? Really?
Yeah.
So anyway, tonight, it is time for Let's Talk About. Can I cue the music?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Herb. Yo, I don't think we should talk
I think we should talk about it.
People might misunderstand.
They won't. Here we go. You ready?
Tonight's a hard one to fit in.
I'll let you do it. Here we go. You ready? Let's talk about
Can you be allergic to oils?
all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about.
Can you be allergic to oils?
Can you be allergic to oils? Oh.
So can you be allergic to oils? What do you think?
I don't know. Like, I've definitely heard people say that you can't be because oils are natural, man. So that means how can you possibly be allergic to anything natural? Have you ever been stung by a stinging nettle?
No, but I've been stung by a bee, but I'm actually not allergic
You're not allergic
to
to
bees.
it. But bees aren't natural. Oh, wait.
They are.
They are. Yeah, no, it's a big question, isn't it? We have had people ask that. Well, people have asked that to you a number of times, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's why we chose this topic, because I often get asked. Like people send me photos. I had this reaction. Am I allergic to oils?
Yeah.
So we thought we'd do a video on it tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge question. So, especially because obviously we're pretty keen on essential oils, and obviously lots of people who are watching are, and maybe you're sitting there thinking, essential oils, not too sure. Give me more information. So here it is. So, is there a short answer to this?
Well, the technical answer is yes, you can actually be allergic to essential oils.
Okay.
It's a big misnomer in
I'm just gonna
the
move this
essential
down a
oil
little bit.
world.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
And
Just to put more pressure on you.
because I'm wearing my pajama bottoms.
Oh, sorry. I'll just scan down. No.
I come home from, and just chuck pajama bottoms.
Look,
anyway, back to the real reason that we're here.
It's like those newsreaders who just
Wear
be in their
board
underpants.
shorts, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I have pants on.
So, back to the
Keep
real
going.
thing
Yeah.
that we're here for.
Yeah.
So it's a big misnomer in the essential oil world. And the reason is because generally people are allergic to things where they're big enough to bind to protein. So there has to be a protein present.
Yeah.
And when you actually distill essential oils, the plant matter, the oil, if you like, rises in the steam. And so only molecules that are a certain size can actually be light enough to lift in the steam, cool down, and then be bottled as essential oil. So that's usually less than 300 atomic mass units, or AMUs.
Yep.
Okay, so only things that are that small, and that they are too small to bind to proteins and cause an allergic reaction. So an allergic reaction basically happens when an allergen or an antigen, like basically something that you would be allergic to. So things like Jeremy's allergic to dogs and cats, and dust, and lots of other things.
Yeah.
And so when those enter his body, like he breathes in the cat hair or something like that, the antibodies in his body go crazy, and they think that that cat hair is going to kill him, so or that he's under attack. So it's kind of like a warfare, if you like. And the antibodies go crazy, and they try and protect him, and they go and and fight the antigens. And that happens basically because there's a protein and they're big enough and things like that. But what happens with essential oils is they're not that big, and therefore they can't bind to the proteins, okay? So that's why you'll hear a lot of people say you can't be allergic to essential oils. But there's actually 4 different types of allergies or allergic reactions, hypersensitivities, whatever you'd like to call it. And
are you going to tell us what they are?
so I'm going to say first off that type 2 and type 3 have nothing to do with essential oils, okay? So
Yep.
they're things...
Let's get rid of those.
Yeah, like basically to do with, red blood cells and other things. And so they have nothing to do with essential oils. Type 1 is very rare, but it actually, that's your anaphylaxis, your actual, where like bee stings, things like that fall into type 1. And you can actually be allergic to essential oils and have a type 1 reaction, but it's very, very rare. It's more likely to be type 4, which is what they call sort of delayed hypersensitivity. And what happens there is you will be exposed to the essential oil. Your body, as I said, the essential oil particles are too small to bind with the protein and for the body to have the reaction. But because you've put the essential oils on your skin, guess what's in your skin? Proteins, peptides. So basically what happens is the antibodies actually start attacking the new compound, which is the skin merged with the essential oils, if you like. So that's what we actually have the reaction to.
It's complex, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a simple thing. But if someone's having a reaction, then, it's not like... I guess what annoys me is where people downplay it and go, "Oh no, you can't be allergic to essential oils. It's not a reaction. It's something else," and they dismiss it. And I think it's really important to say, well, you know what, you actually can, particularly when the essential oils have, interacted with your skin. There's also, and I guess that's what we call this hapten peptide complex or hapten inhibition or anyway. So that's the main way that you're actually allergic to essential oils. But I guess the other thing that I want to say is that you are more likely to have a skin reaction of some kind if certain things are happening in your body, okay? So you are more likely to react if it's a hot oil. So by hot oils, we mean lemongrass, cinnamon, oregano, thyme, even ylang-ylang, peppermint. Any of those oils used neat without dilution are going to cause more likelihood of a skin reaction. So you might see redness, itchiness, hives. When Jeremy first started using the oils, he actually had a hives reaction, broke out in little blisters. He'd never used them before. And so, like if you start off high using something...
I think I went in a bit hard.
Yeah, then you're more likely to have a reaction. So that's why it's really important.
Because I wanted to impress you.
When you're new to essential oils, that you go slow and low, okay?
Yeah.
So go, start by diluting them, put them on areas of the body where, like the bottoms of the feet where the skin is thicker, that kind of stuff. Diffusing to start off with. You are also more likely to have a reaction to essential oils if you are under a great deal of stress. Okay, usually when we're under stress, we use oils more because we think, well, they're going to help with our stress levels, so we use them more.
Yep.
But in fact, what happens when you're stressed is you produce lots of cortisol, and the essential oils actually react with the cortisol. They react, when you're stressed, your body is more likely to be acidic. And when you're acidic, you're more likely to react to essential oils as well. So it's important to look at, how you can reduce your stress, how you can reduce your acidity. So maybe looking at a supplement like alkaline, looking at an alkalized diet as reducing your red meat and your sugars and your carbohydrates, and looking at switching to low alkaline foods, lots of green veggies, that kind of stuff. You are also more likely to I guess have a reaction to essential oils if you're under a great deal of emotional stress, because like physical toxins in the body that get released, emotional toxins get released as well, and essential oils actually interact with those. And if you're not drinking lots of water and flushing them out, then you're more likely to get a reaction. One of the things that Jeremy also had is a great test case. When Jeremy first started using the Young Living deodorant, he actually came out in a rash. And
just under one arm.
Yeah, under one arm. And he had for a long time, like 40 years maybe, used a supermarket bought spray on antiperspirant deodorant. And so
which I'm sure had no harmful chemicals in it at all.
Over time that builds up underneath your arms, and the essential oils once again interact with those chemicals. I mean, I've seen essential oils eat away at plastic like that. They basically, when I use measuring cups, they eat away at it, and so they do that to petrochemicals. And if you've been using chemicals on your body for a long period of time, then you're more likely to have a reaction, because some of those chemicals get stored in your body. So they might be stored in your fat, they might be stored on your arms, and then the essential oils actually go in and interact with those chemicals in a bad way and might give you a rash. It's the same as, particularly when you're starting out using essential oils with children, it's a good idea to dilute, because you don't know, if people are on medication or they've just had a vaccine or anything like that, then they're more likely to react to essential oils. It doesn't mean that they'll always react. Sometimes it might be a one-off thing, like with Jeremy, the underarm thing. He just stopped using the deodorant for a while, started using coconut oil, and then gradually reintroduced it. And it's the same with essential oils. I talked before about delayed hypersensitivity. My aromatherapy teacher actually had delayed hypersensitivity to tea tree oil. She had used tea tree oil for years and had nothing, and then all of a sudden she started to get this delayed reaction, and every time she used it she broke out in a rash. And it, she'd stop using it, and months later she'd try again, and she kept getting this. And that was that, basically it was binding to the skin and causing her to have a reaction. The biggest thing about reactions to essential oils is that it comes down to quality as well. So if you are, just buying cheap supermarket essential oils, then they're more likely to be adulterated. So you could be having the reaction to whatever's been added to the essential oil. So it might be a chemical such as propylene glycol, which has no scent of itself, so it's able to take on the scent of the essential oil or the scent, if you like, that has been added to it. You may be having an allergic reaction to the nut oils that might be the carrier oil. Even Young Living in their blends, such as Endoflex, Valor Roll-On, a lot of the roll-ons contain carrier oils such as coconut oil and almond oil. And if you have a nut allergy, then you are more likely to be allergic to those, or have you're actually having the allergic reaction to those nut oils as opposed to the essential oils that are in those particular blends. The other thing is citrus oils. So I talked before about how we steam distill oils like lavender and peppermint, but in the case of citrus oils, we actually just press the rind and the oil runs out, and that's what's bottled. And so people are more likely to have a reaction, not just photosensitivity, but they have a reaction to what we call expressed or cold pressed oils, which are usually your citrus, your lemon, your orange, your grapefruit, tangerine, all of those. Because they're not steam distilled, so they're actually the molecules are actually bigger for a start. So
after all that, should I be terrified of using essential oils?
Well, no, because I guess
because we have talked a lot there about reactions to stuff.
But reactions are really rare.
That's what I was going to say.
They are really rare. I mean, really rare. I've been with Young Living now for 9 years, and I've probably seen maybe 2 sort of serious type reactions. And in both cases, they've used oils neat, no dilution, and large quantities of oils. So I guess the message is always start low and slow to see what your body can handle. Just because it's natural doesn't mean you can use tons of the stuff and not have a reaction. If you do have a reaction, stop using it. Like that's the first thing. You know, some people send me photos of, you know, I've just had this reaction to this particular oil. What oils do you think are going to fix this? And I say, no, stop using the oil. Like they go, oh, what about lavender? Will lavender stop the burning sensation? I'm like, no, stop using them. Dilute like straight away, like use a carrier oil over the top to basically spread out the oil so that it's less less hot, if you like, less concentrated. Drink lots of water, as I mentioned before, to flush toxins out of the body, alkalize the body. Start diffusing as opposed to using topically. Essential oils, smell is the fastest, I guess, sense, and of all of our senses, our touch, taste, all of those, and it's really quick. It gets straight to the brain, so you can still have huge benefits from diffusing oils. There are places around the world that only diffuse oils. They don't use them topically, and they still have great benefits. So you don't actually have to use essential oils topically to get all the benefits. Deal with your stress, because as I said, you're more likely to have a reaction if you are stressed. Choose a different oil. Maybe that oil is not for you, and don't go slathering cinnamon oil over your body. Look at your petrochemicals in your products that you're using. So if you're using a face cream and it's not natural, and you're adding, say, frankincense oil to it, and it's got preservatives and fragrances and all of those kinds of things, then the frankincense oil is going to interact with those petrochemicals, and then it's going to react on your skin. So maybe look at the chemicals that you're using or have been using, and dilute.
And you just got to be sensible about this stuff. I think that's the key. I mean, crazy stories. It made me think of years and years back. I worked in a bank, and one of the guys that I worked with came in one day and he was shaking his head. And I said, "What's wrong?" And he goes, my sister's trying to lose weight, and so she's eating Special K." And I went, "And what's wrong with that?" And he goes, "Well, she thought that the more Special K she ate, the more weight she would lose," right? And I think sometimes the weird connection there is sometimes it's like that with oils. Like, more is not necessarily better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway, hopefully you've learned a little bit more about whether you can be allergic to essential oils or not.
So the short answer is yes, you can.
Yes, you actually can be allergic to essential oils.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have any proteins in the essential oil for you to have an allergic reaction.
Okay. Good to know.
All right. We'll see you next Monday.
We'll see. And if you have any questions about that topic, because there was a lot in there, put them down below and we'll get back to you about it.
Yep.
We'll see you next Monday night.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye.